I think one of the most shocking things I've ever witnessed was while I was still involved, I hired a guy who had been the commanding officer of St. Hill, and he'd worked for Ron Hubbard as a Ron Hubbard aide. So he had an incredibly high reputation, and he was on leave of absence from the Sea Organization, and so I hired him in my little artists agency. And one week, my wife, she was meant to sell paintings, and she hadn't sold anything all week.
Right.
And he took her into this tiny little room, this kind of 6 foot by 9 foot room, and started screaming at her. And he told her that she was worthless, that she was trying to destroy me. And I kind of hovered outside the door listening to this. I kind of went, this must be some technique I don't know about. This doesn't sound right to me. I didn't see him again for 3 days. And by that time, I decided I had, no matter that he was personally trained by L. Ron Hubbard, the Grand Poobah, I had to say, why did you do that? And in Scientology, Hubbard said this thing, if it isn't written, it isn't true. So there must be a record of things, So I said to him, where's it written that you do this? And he started crying. He put his head in his hands and he said, it's not written anywhere. So I said, well, in that case, why did you do it? In Scientology, policy, procedure always has to be written down so it can be consulted. And he said, it's because it's what Ron Hubbard did to us. And that was the first time that somebody had come clean about Hubbard's personal behavior. So many people were subjected to these screaming tirades where they were traumatized and they would, it could last for years. I met one guy who had locked himself away for 20 years. He'd not left the house in 20 years because of a Hubbard attack on him. And because Hubbard said, you're a suppressive person, you're just trying to destroy everybody. And you've got to go, well, if Ron says that, it must be true. This is called a severe reality adjustment. And anybody who has been in the slave Sea Organization will have had this applied to them. And it's awfully demeaning. It's psychologically destructive. And it's catching.